Hello, good morning, everyone. We shall start the webinar in few minutes, waiting for everybody to join in. Thank you for your patience. All right, look like we are good to start the webinar. Hello again, everyone. I'm Sukriti Mal, and I'm delighted to be your host for today's session. I would like to express a pleasant welcome to all of you on the Tech Data's behalf, and thank you for joining us for today's Realize Tomorrow webinar series. Now, allow me to quickly establish an agenda for you for today's attendees. This session, you will be more focused towards trusting your IT security. Every organization talk about security these days, but this faces numerous challenges such as increasing attack rates. The existing security tools are not designed for multi-cloud and hybrid environment. The volume of signals and the tooling complexity is overwhelming, and so on. The traditional approaches simply cannot handle the pace of change, and the IT department do not have money to throw at the problems. That's why Microsoft developed the Azure Sentinel, a fully cloud native SCIM designed to serve all the characteristics of security operations and assisting companies in delivering a rapid, intelligent result, integrating their security tools and now securing all the clouds and the platform. That is a multi-layered topic, which will be presented by Brian Liu, a senior pre-sales consultant. APJ is a member of the Cloud Center of Excellence. He's highly admired speaker and subject matter expert in Microsoft Azure, AVD, and security. Now I'll quickly give you a few topics that he might be giving you. You can gain the insight, and he'll be talking about. It would be like modernizing your security operation with Azure Sentinel, Azure security, and talking about the network security, introducing Microsoft Defender Cloud. How to enhance your cloud security posture using the secure scores in Microsoft Defender for cloud. And cloud workload protection platform capabilities in Azure Defender. I would also request my attendees for today that in between these sessions, we will also have some poll running that I would like you guys to please acknowledge answering those, as they will help us to understand the basic information about the industry trend. Before I shall hand it over to Brian, I would let me quickly also do a small sanitization about the whole session. So while Brian is presenting, if anybody have some query throughout the presentation, please write them into the chat box and they will be answered during the Q&A session. Without any further ado, let me just pass on this to Brian. Brian, it's all yours. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Suriti. Um, Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for your time to join to the webinar today to discuss about the security. First of all, let me introduce a little bit about myself. My name is Brian Huynh, and I am the senior pre-sale consultant. I will focus on the Microsoft solution like Microsoft 365, Azure, the virtual desktop, and also the security. Yeah, I'm so happy to stay here to present about the Microsoft security today. So firstly, we take a look at the security challenges for today. As you know, we are living in the era of digital transformation. A lot of organizations, they use cloud computing in order to accelerate the productivity of the end user. Like we use Office 365 to enable the remote work or work from everywhere for the end user. Yes, and however, it can lead to the risk of the security. Yeah. So why I say that? Today, the attack surface is more bigger than the past, and the hacker they more easy to steal the password, steal the account of our user. Because in the past 2 years, we can use the firewall, yeah, to create the perimeter network to protect the user, the data, the device, yeah, our application. But nowadays, we store our data on the cloud, and our user working from home, working from the cafe or something like that. So the hacker is very easy to steal the account of our end user, and after that they can steal your data, the sensitive data. Besides of that, the hacker they continue to learn day by day to find a new way to attack us. That's the first challenge about the security. The second challenge of the security, the organization they follow the multi-cloud and hybrid cloud strategy. Yeah, and the current security solution like the firewall on premise or the SIEM solution on premise, they are not designed to protect the cloud computing environment. Yeah, so we need to transform our security. And the third challenge is the organization they use a lot of security solution in their system. For example, in the identity, they have the identity vendor, they have the firewall vendor, they have the WAF vendor, they have the SIEM vendor. Yeah, and a lot of vendor they don't work together. Yeah, so it will it will lead to the challenge for the security operator. They cannot manage a lot of tool, a lot of solution. Yeah, so our challenge for the security today. So we need to transform our security solution, and this is the approach of the Microsoft. So the Microsoft, they design the security solution. uh, it can have the customer, it can help us to rapidly to find, to detect the real incident about the security. And the solution of the Microsoft will follow the principle that on the solution of the Microsoft, they can work together, they can interact together, yeah, to help us to better the visibility in our organization. And finally, the solution can have us to protect our workload in the multi-cloud environment. It is not only support to protect the Azure, it can have you to protect the workloads on the AWS and GCP also. And it is compatible in the multi platform, like we can support the Linux, yeah, we can support the iOS and Android and something like that. That's the principle, the approach of the Microsoft when they design the security solution. Okay, let's zoom to the architecture for today. I will introduce to you the architecture of the security of the Microsoft. Firstly, we discuss about the Microsoft Sentinel. It is the cloud native SIEM solution. It can have us to have the visibility across your organization. Yeah, and the second component, that's the XDR. The XDR is quite new nowadays. It's stand for extended detection and response. And we have two solution for the XDR solution. That's the Microsoft 365 Defender. We can protect the end user, the device, the Office 365. And for the cloud infrastructure, we have the Microsoft Defender for Cloud, yeah, to protect our networking, our infrastructure, and it can help us to have the security posture. And more than that, we can integrate with the Microsoft ecosystem vendor. For example, we can integrate with your current security solution on-prem, put it into our solution. And it's quite easy if you imagine that Microsoft Sentinel is our eyes. Yeah, so we will have the visibility on of the activity in our organization. And Microsoft Defender for Office 365, something like that, is look like our left hand, and Microsoft Defender for Cloud is our right hand. So we can see on of the activity in the organization, and we have the capability to respond to the attack of the hacker. Yeah, that's the idea of the Microsoft Sentinel and XDR solution. And Microsoft is the vendor. We have the comprehensive end-to-end solution for the security. Why I say that? Let's look at some report from the Forrester. So Forrester, they recognize Microsoft is the XDR provider leader in the market. And more than that, we have Forrester recognize us in many report from the endpoint to the cloud. Yeah, we have the endpoint security, we are the leader, and also the email from the Office 365, and from the cloud, we have the Microsoft Sentinel, that's the security analytic platform. Yeah. And also Gartner also recognize us as a leader in many security solutions. For the solution portfolio of the Microsoft, they have many solutions. We have more than 40 solution, end-to-end solution for the security. From the previous session, my colleague, Mr. Savaris, he already presented about the Microsoft 365 security. And so today I will continue about the security solution of the Microsoft, that is the Microsoft Sentinel and Microsoft Defender for Cloud, and also the overview about the Microsoft security network security solution, like the firewall, the VPN, or something like that. Okay, let's zoom to the first topic, that is the Microsoft Sentinel. But before that, please help me to spend some time to answer the poll question, so we can understand more better about the your current security solution. Yeah, and you can answer the poll question on the screen, or you can go to the chat box to answer the question. Yeah, thank you so much about that. Okay, next, Microsoft Sentinel is the cloud-based SIEM solution. It can help us to provide for us intelligent security analytic for our entire enterprise. And it's the cloud native, so it have the scalability, and we can use Microsoft Sentinel, so very easy for us to continue to collect the security data from the a lot of the sources, like we can collect the security data from the device, the user, the application, and server in the any cloud. For example, we can bring the security data from the Office 365 to the Microsoft Sentinel for free. Yep. And more than that, we can integrate it with the existing security solution on-prem, like integrate with your firewall, or your web application firewall, something like that. And after we collect the security data from a lot of sources, we can use the AI capability of the Microsoft Sentinel in order to quickly detect and investigate the security incident. And after that, we have the automatic response to the incident for quickly respond to the attack of the hacker. Yeah. And Microsoft Sentinel is either cloud-based, so it don't need to set up the infrastructure and don't need to maintain the infrastructure. In my country, a lot of organization, the security team and the IT system team is the same team. Yeah, so the security operator, they cannot focus on the security part. They need to do the maintenance, the firewall, need to upgrade the version of the firewall or something like that. So they cannot focus on how to respond with the security, how to respond to the attack. But in the Microsoft Sentinel, it's in the cloud native SIEM solution. So the security operator, they can focus on the security part. They don't need to maintain the appliance, maintain the firewall anymore. Yeah. And it have it have the ability to scale automatically, and it's a no limit for us when we use the cloud native solution. So it can have the our organization save a lot of time to deployment the solution. And in this case, if you want to try, or you want to POC the solution, Microsoft Sentinel is the very best solution for you, because it's very quick for you to enable the service, to use the service. You don't need 1 week or 2 weeks to set up the demo or the POC environment. Yep. And because you don't need to set up the hardware or the maintenance to use the service, and for the cost perspective, the Microsoft Sentinel is follow the base as you go model. So you only need to pay for what you use. Yeah. So Microsoft Sentinel, you don't need to pay any cost upfront. Yeah, you in this way you can transform the from the capex model to the opex model. So it can help you to reduce a lot of cost when you use the cloud computing. And when you don't need to use the solution anymore. Just turn it off, and you don't need to buy anything for the solution. But for the traditional SIEM solution, you need to pay the hardware, you need to pay the software, you need to set up everything upfront, pay for upfront. Yeah, so it have a lot of challenge with the traditional way. Okay. And next, the Microsoft Sentinel not only support to collect the data from Microsoft 365 and Microsoft Azure, but it can support a lot of connector from the partner solution. Like as you can see from the Microsoft Security Association, we can see a lot of famous vendor here, like Fortinet or Palantir, Checkpoint, something like that. So we can create the connector to collect the data from the firewall, from the FortiGate or the Palantir or the Checkpoint or the a lot of security vendor. We can collect into the Microsoft Sentinel. Yep. And for the uh, uh, for the Microsoft Sentinel, they use the AI capability in order to correlate a lot of signal, like a million of signal, into the real incident. Yeah, so it is very easy for the security operator to detect the real incident based on a lot of alert or something like that. We use the AI, so we can reduce a lot of false positive and reduce the time we detect the security incident. Yeah, and Microsoft Sentinel can help us to provide us practical and the AI based investigation. So based on that, we can reduce the time to investigation and for hunting. For example, we detect the security incident from one user. We can analyze, we can investigation on of the device that user are using. Yeah, so we can graphic to very easy for us to analyze and hunting the spurious activity with the Microsoft Sentinel. And after that, we can create the orchestration and automation capability. We usually use the term of SWA solution by integrate with the Azure Logic app. So when the Azure Sentinel detect the security incident, the Azure Logic app will automatic to trigger our workflow. Yeah, so it can automatic to respond to the incident, or we get create the ticket system or something like that. It's the automation. Okay, so resume to the result of our first polling. So we can see that the solution in place to collect the log. Very happy to see that on most of the attendee for today, they have the solution to collect the log from a lot of solution in our organization. And for the automation and also the SOC service and the proactive hunting, yeah, a lot of people, they already have the security in place, but some people, they don't have. So you can try the cloud native SIEM solution, Microsoft Sentinel, in order to create the better visibility in your product. So based on the use case, we have the use case to introduce to you. For example, we have the situation that we are using the SIEM on-prem, so it cannot collect the data from a lot of sources like the cloud or the multi-cloud environment. Yeah, and it can lead to we need to pay a lot of cost for the on-premise solution. And after our customer, they try the Microsoft Sentinel, they can have a lot of benefit. That's they can collect more the data, the security data, and based on that, they can enable to catch more potential issue more quickly. And the IT team, they don't need to maintain the hardware of the security solution anymore. They don't need to take care the upgrades or the update the version of the solution. So they can focus on the security part. Yeah. Okay, that's the Microsoft Sentinel. That's our eyes. So it leads to we will continue with our right hand is a Microsoft Defender for Cloud. To let's see how we can benefit from the Microsoft Defender for Cloud. First of all, okay, please help me to answer some question from Microsoft Defender for Cloud for the bundling. And if you uh, um, already finished to answer the question on the polling, you can guess a little bit information about the Microsoft Defender for Cloud. For example, you answer the polling question. How can you check the your compliance? For example, how can you check that you met the GDPR or the PCI DSS compliant or not? Yep. And how can you manage your security posture and something like that? And that's the benefit from the Microsoft Defender for Cloud. So we can manage the security posture with the Microsoft Defender for Cloud with the secure score and the policy and compliance. Yeah. Let's to go more detail with me about the Microsoft Defender for Cloud. Okay, first of all, the Microsoft Defender for Cloud can help us with the single pane of glass dashboard, so we can quickly to have the security posture on of our workload. It's list on the dashboard. For example, we can see how many Azure subscription do we have, how many AWS account do we have, how many GCP project do we have, and based on that we can have the compliant picture. Yeah, we can see that we met compliant or not, and it also can show for us the recommendation, the next action plan in order for us to implement the security solution in order to meet the GDPR or the PCI DSS compliant. Yep. And the secure score can help us to have to analyze the our level of the security, and also the recommendation for us to protect the VM or protect our the database, the network, or the application. Yeah. And next is the compliance, and we not only can protect our Azure, but we can also protect the AWS and GCP environment. Okay, and for the inventory, so it can list on our workloads in the Azure, on the AWS, and on the GCP on one view, so we can monitor the security status of our VM or our SQL database. Okay, and after that, we can create a lot of automation workflow to automate the configuration. For example, we create one VM and it don't have the endpoint security. And the Microsoft Defender for Cloud can automate it to notify us via integrated with the ServiceNow or the Outlook, or it send an email to us, or we can integrate with the Azure Logic app in order to automate the configuration, the endpoint security into that VM. Yep. Okay, after we have the security posture management, we can have the ability in order to protect our workload in the multi-cloud and hybrid workload environment. For example, we can protect our VM, our Azure App Service, our SQL database. Yeah, a lot of service it can support in order to protect our workload on the cloud. But we are not only support the workload on the Azure, but we can support the AWS and also the GCP also. For example, we can protect the EC2 instance on the AWS. Yeah, we can manage the AWS workload in the Azure portal. Yeah, so it's a very unique solution for us to provide the security management in the multi-cloud environment for the customer. Um, okay, so based on the answer of the bond question, so based on that, I see that a lot of audience they don't have the solution to quickly know about the security posture, and they don't have the solution to protect the multi-cloud environment. So you can try the Microsoft Defender for Cloud to protect the AWS or GCP environment and also the Azure in one view, in one single solution. Yep. This is our use case. For example, we have one organization. They follow the multi-cloud environment, but the current security solution, they cannot have to protect the multi-cloud. Yeah, so after they try, they can see the benefit. They can protect the multi-cloud workloads and also can support the Windows, Mac, and Linux, iOS, Android, and IoT, the multiple platform they can support. And it can provide the XDR capability. In this benefit, we can combine with the Microsoft Sentinel in order to better comprehensive solution. Yeah, to better provide the visibility. Okay, and the last benefit that can provide the single pane of glass dashboard for us to view all of the workload, and we can check the security status of our workloads in the multi-cloud environment. Yep. Okay, it will zoom to the third topic. That's the network security service on the Azure. So please help us to spend some time to answer some question on the polling, like um, can you secure connect your on-prem environment with the public cloud on the Azure or the AWS, something like that, or how you manage your traffic in and out of your cloud environment. Some basic information about the network security. And for the Azure network security, we would like to show that not only the Azure Sentinel, not only the Microsoft Defender for Cloud, but on the Azure, we have a lot of network security service in order for us to protect our security based on the zero trust model. And the zero trust model follow the principle that we don't trust anyone. Yeah, we always verify everything, always verify the session of the user when they log in into the Azure workloads or log in into the VM. That's the idea, the principle of the zero trust. And with the network security, it can help us to segmentation our layer. For example, we have the front end website, we have the back end website. So we can block access, we can monitor the traffic, we can block the access from the front end or website to the back end or to the database, something like that. And when the traffic from outside go to our application, web application, we have the firewall or we have the DDoS solution in order to protect our website. And also we have the encryption capability in order to encrypt our data in transit or the data address. We can have the ability to encrypt the data. Okay, to zoom more to the detail about the network security service. As you can see, we have many service. It can help you to connect your environment from the on-prem to the Azure. And also we can have the DDoS, the WAP, the firewall, the network security group in order to segmentation our layer in our system in order to protect that. And we have the traffic manager in order to load balancing, and also CDN and the DDoS service. It can protect our website. Okay, and we not only can use the Azure service, but also you can use your current solution in the security in the Azure platform. For example, in the on-prem, you are using the checkpoint or you are using the FortiGate, that's the firewall from the Fortinet, and you want to connect your on-premise to the Azure, and you don't want to use the Azure VPN gateway. You want to keep your current firewall platform. So you can very easy to deploy the FortiGate on the Azure in the Azure Marketplace. Yeah, you can deploy one FortiGate on the Azure, and based on that, you can realize the VPN side to side between the two FortiGate in order to connect your on-prem environment to the Azure. Yeah, you can use a lot of third-party security vendor in the Azure. Okay, the final point question results. So based on that, I see for the network security, a lot of audience, a lot of people in here, they have the solution, the awareness of how to use the network security solution in order to protect their network solution. Okay, so uh, based on our use case about the Azure network security, we can use the Azure firewall, the Azure DDoS, and the web application on the Azure in order to protect our website, our infrastructure on the Azure with the very cost effective solution. Yeah. Okay, it will link to the final topic for today. Is the how the tech data can help you in your cloud journey. So in your cloud journey, we have the dedicated support for every phase or every step. So we can help you to assessment the security posture, your current security posture. For example, we can help you to analyze your current security solution. And based on that, we can create the action plan. So what we can do next, what solution we need to implement, yeah, and what licensing we need to buy or something like that. And after that, we can have the service, we can help you to deploy the security solution uh, in order to protect your identity, your network, your compute, application, and data. So from end to end, the security service, we have the dedicated support, we have the dedicated people in order to help you. Yeah. Okay, so more detail about how tech data team can help you in the assessment. We can use the secure score in order to analyze your security posture. And we can use the Microsoft Defender for Cloud compliant in order to check your system is it met the compliance GDPR or the BCI DSS or not. And we have interact with the CSAT tool in order to assessment. I will talk a little bit about the CSAT in the next slide. And in tech data, we have the COE team, that is the center of the excellent team. The people in the COE, they have certified a lot of certification about the security, about the cloud, Azure, and the next gen security. So it can help you to assessment, to planning the architect solution. And based on that, we can support you to demo the solution or to do the POC. And with the click to run solution, that's the IP from the tech data, it can help us to quickly deploy the solution. The automation, automation the deployment process. So we can use this tool in order to reduce the time of deployment. For example, in the past, you would like to deploy the security solution. It may be 2 weeks or 1 month. But with the click to run solution, we can reduce the time to a few days. We can already deploy the solution on the cloud. Yeah. And for the technical service, we have the end-to-end service to support the partner or the end user. We have the implementation service, the migration, and the after-sales support. Yeah, we have the support team in order to have us to quickly troubleshooting the error or some security incident. And also we have the managed service. Yeah. And we also cooperate with the third-party integration, that is the QS integration, in order to do the CSAS assessment, the security assessment. Okay, what is the why we need to do the CSAS assessment? So when we do the planning for the security solution, we would like to know what the security solution we need to implement. So the firstly and the most important part is the assessment. We need to assessment our current security system. So we can use the CSAS to analyze our current security risk on our organization. For example, it can support to access our Microsoft 365 environment. For example, did you turn on the multi-factor authentication? Did you deploy the email security gateway or something like that? And on the Azure, did you enable the Microsoft Defender for Cloud, or your VM or encryption, or this your SQL database have the security to protect or something like that. So we will have the overview about our security system, and based on that, CSAT will provide us the very detailed action plan. So what we need to do next? Yeah, what is the critical part we need to deploy in order to protect our environment, and what is the license we need to buy in order to deploy the security feature on the Office 365. It will recommend for us to buy the security solution like the Microsoft 365 Business Premium, something like that. And based on the CSAS, the tech data team can help you after that, can help you to planning the budget for deploy the security solution. Yeah. And more information about the COE team, we have many people, many experts in the solution. We have the expert in the modern workplace, Microsoft 365, and the security for the modern workplace, and also the device security. For example, we have the expert in the Intune solution, Microsoft Endpoint Manager in the Microsoft 365. And from the core infrastructure and the hybrid data center, we also have a lot of self play in order to have you better understand about the solution. And also the VDI on the cloud. We have the Azure Virtual Desktop. It is very famous nowadays when we work in the work from home or the remote work environment. So we can very easy to provide the virtual desktop to the end user. And also the AI and machine learning and the SAB on Azure. And also we have the people can support you to modernize your current software solution. For example, you are the ISV vendor, so we can have us to bring your software solution into the Azure. So in that way, you can cross-sell with the Microsoft because your solution can be public on the Azure Marketplace. So the customer of the Microsoft can see your solution on the Azure Marketplace. So it's a very it's a bring to you a lot of benefit when you cooperate with the Microsoft in the ISV program. So we have the engineer to help you to design your application or your software in the Azure environment. Okay, and it leads to the call to action. So as you can see that in the 1 hour, so it's very difficult to go more deep dive about the very detailed about the solution. For example, how to deploy the Microsoft Sentinel, how to deploy the Microsoft Defender for Cloud, or how about the pricing model of the security solution. So the next action, if you're interested about the solution, you can contact to our reseller and also our COE team in order to set up a next meeting so we can have to go more deep dive about the solution, and we can have you to planning the architect and sizing or estimate the cost of the solution on the Azure. And also we have the demo catalog. That's the COE demo environment we already create in order to demo, to showcase for you. So you can scan the QR codes in here and request the use case for the demo or the POC. So we will have the expert to contact you and set up set up the meeting in order to showcase for you the use case, the feature of the Microsoft Sentinel, Microsoft Defender for Cloud, something like that. Yep. That is the call for action. And just remind that the Realize Tomorrow webinar series, we have 2 sessions more for tomorrow and 1 session in May to talk about the Azure Data Service and also the ISV solution. So we will introduce to you about the Azure service, the Azure Analytics. On in the application, we can introduce to you a lot of platform as a service like the Azure web app and how you can use the bus service of the Azure to deploy your application or your software on the Azure. Okay, it lead to the Q&A session. So I'm very happy to receive your question on the chat window. And on the left hand side, if you not yet to register the upcoming session for the tomorrow or the IRV session in May, feel free to scan the QR codes on the left hand side to register the session tomorrow. Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, so we will zoom to the Q&A. So do we have any question on the chat window? Yep.
Thank you, Brian. It was such an comprehensive and insightful session. Let's go for the Q&A. I would request my audience, if you have any Q&A, please uh, write it down on the chat box or unmute yourself and talk about it. Ask any question. Brian is here. Okay, we do have one question coming up.
Oh, yes,
Yes.
yes, we say some question.
How can I see my current security state of my Azure resources?
Um, Yes, that's a good question. Yeah, thank you so much for your question. So the security state is very important for the company to know about the current status of our security on the Azure. So for detail, you can go to the Azure portal, and you after that, you can go to the Microsoft Defender for Cloud. It will provide you the single pane of glass about the security posture. So you can get the information about how many resources you are using on the Azure and the security status of that resource. Yeah. So you can go to the Azure portal, Microsoft Defender for Cloud. That's in my answer. Yeah.
Yeah, we do have the second question. How can we can secure connect on the premises with Azure?
Yeah, thank you so much for your question. So, in order to connect your on-prem environment to the Microsoft Azure, in order to build the hybrid cloud connectivity, we have two options. The first option that's we can realize an VPN side-to-side connection. So it will encrypt our data when the traffic is go on the VPN. It encrypt by the IPsec tunnel. Yeah, we can create the as a VPN gateway in order to connect with your on-prem VPN appliance. And the second question that's you can use the direct connect solution. That's the is background. So it's the layer two connection. It direct connect from your on-prem environment to the Azure data center. It's a very private. It's a not public. Yeah. So it can help you to secure the connection and secure the data from the on-prem to the Azure. Yeah, thank you so much for your question.
Okay, there is one more question. Do we have any kind of a trial program for Microsoft Defender for Cloud or for Microsoft Sentinel?
Yeah. Thank you for your question. So for the Microsoft Sentinel and the Microsoft Defender for Cloud, we do have the trial program for 1 month. Yeah. So please go to the Microsoft Azure to enable the trial and uh, try the benefit, try the feature of the Microsoft Defender for Cloud. And after you enable the trial program, then after 1 month, if it's not suitable for your environment, you can turn it off and you don't need to pay for anything after that. And in the trial program, you can use full feature of the advanced security of the Microsoft Defender for Cloud. For example, you have the VM, you have the SQL database. Yes, you can enable the Microsoft Defender for Cloud for 1 month in order to run or try some benefit of the solution. Yeah.
Any more question, please?
Yeah, thank you so much, Karen. Yeah, Karen helped me to put some more detailed information about the Microsoft Defender for Cloud. Yeah. Yes, yeah, exactly, Karen. Yeah, Microsoft Sentinel is free for the 31 days. Yeah, so we can try to collect some security data on the Microsoft Sentinel to try some the AI capability, to try some the graphical feature to um, or we can try to integrate with our current security vendor, like we can collect the log from the firewall or log from the web application firewall on-prem, something like that. Yeah. Or you can just connect with us, so we can have you to analyze your requirement and do the demo and POC. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So I think it's look like we have covered all our questions. I would request my attendee, please do scan the QR code, which is there on the slide. This is the next session, which is happening tomorrow, which is 28th of April, which is more inclined towards data insights and deliver the integrated analytics. Post this webinar, you will receive a thank you email from us with details on how to complete the survey and receive a free security assessment worth of $3,000. I think which also been emphasized by Brian today on the presentation. So please check out and please go forward and fill the survey for us. I think we are good to grow. Go for the session today. Great. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your time and patience. We appreciate you being here. Thank you again for joining us today. And we'll see you next time for tomorrow's session and again for the ISV. Thank you, team.
Yes, thank you so much for joining today. If you have any question, yeah, you can contact me directly via my email or my LinkedIn. Yeah, I already reshare on the screen. Yeah, thank you so much for joining for today. Yeah, have a nice day.
Yeah. Thank you. Have a nice day.